Okay, I think we are good to start for now. You can see we have more learners that are joining in. And it's a good time to start the box walkthrough, the Authby. But before we start, let me just say hi to everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. On my end is actually at night. It's at 10:20 in the evening. And okay, let me introduce myself. I'm going to turn on my camera just to show that I'm not an artificial, I'm not an AI. So there I am. Hopefully everyone can see me. And yeah, I'm Eric. I'm Kyle Lixing. You can see me in the Discord. And the thing that I like doing for me is just I like to think about the future, like where are we headed? Like for example, we started with that AI thing. You can see how AI has started from like in the past 2 years compared to right now. It has advanced. It's going very, very fast. And I hope my Monday is not in this chat listening, but I was thinking of creating an AI that's gonna do this work for me. Like for example, I can just make it what do you do? Or just create a program, a script is going to work, do everything. Actually, just a moment. I can see someone has logged out. Okay, yeah, we are good. As I was saying, with the AI there, it's advancing. I was thinking maybe I can create like a program that's going to do the work for me. So all the thing that I'm just doing is just to wake up, eat, sleep. The AI is just doing everything for me, and I'm like earning at the end. It's just very fun experience. And also with the machine learning, I was watching this series called Humans. And how many of you have watched a series called Humans? It's about androids which look like exactly like human beings, and they just do everything that you want it to do. Like you can make it maybe you wash your clothes, maybe clean the house, or maybe you walk your dog. It just makes it easy. And if there's something like that in this world, I'll just be among the first to buy it and just make it do everything that I want it to do. Yeah, it's really interesting series. It's about humans. They look exactly like humans, but they're just androids. So yeah, just that's me. I tend to think about the future, where I am right now, where I'm going to be in the next like 5 years, 10 years. Yeah, and something else I like to automate. Let's say I find myself doing certain tasks over and over, over and over. I can try to automate it. Create a script that's going to make it easier for me to make it easier. For example, you're going to see in this walkthrough, we're going to create a bash script that's going to automate a certain process. So let's jump into the walkthrough. I'm going to stop the camera just for a second. Okay, so let's start. So what do we expect? So you're going to see an anonymous access. So you're going to discover an FTP application that now allows open doors. And also the next thing is going to do some password compromise. So just a simple login, you see, is going to reveal more than what is expected. And through that, we're going to plant some seeds, which are going to enable us to do some remote control. And via that, one of the seeds is going to grow and give us a key to the kingdom, which is now command execution. And via this, you're going to create a bash script. Actually, I was creating a script and I realized there was a difference between the Z shell and the bash shell. So I was trying to create this script, then I found out it was failing. I didn't know why exactly. So I learned that, oh, so there's a difference between the Z shell and the bash shell. So I'd like us to go through that. Then we're going to do some kernel exploits. And this, we're going to revisit the past to see how you can gain the full control. And before we exploit this, we're going to see the importance of having a good enumeration. I've seen some learners just downloading exploits, executing it, not sure why is it not working. And it's because they didn't do good enumeration before. And the last bit I added it is defend. So for me, I started with the aside to attack. Ever since I started with cybersecurity, I was always attacking side. I was the attacker, the red team. I started with the pen 300, no, pen 200, then I went to the pen 300, passed both of the exams. Then I was like, what about this other side? What do the defenders actually do? So let's just have a look. So I decided to go and take the SAC 200 course, and I found it was very interesting. It was different compared to the attacking side. You just sit back, look at the logs, see what the attacker is trying to do. You can actually, because now I'm now a defender, and now I can get into the mind of the attacker. I can try to predict what they're trying to do and even block them. So this is just as extra step. We see how we can defend this machine. And how many of you would like to see us trying to defend it? Maybe a hands up on the chat. Awesome. And next, I'm in a mood, in a giving mood, and I think we're going to give out some prizes, just like we did in our previous live session. Just gonna go back here. Yeah, we're going to have some prizes. 1 month free subscription to the PG practice. So make sure to stick around to see how you're going to win this. I'm going to escape this, and let's start the walkthrough. So I've already started the machine. Here it is, it's Authby. This is the IP. I'm going to copy this because I'm going to need it. Let me go to my terminal, and my VPN is already connected. So I'm just going to save this so that I don't have to repeat it. So I'm going to change this to sudo. I'm going to echo this into my host file. I'm just going to name it Authby. And I'm going to direct this into etc hosts. Enter the password. Okay, then we confirm. Okay, 236. 6. Okay. So let's first do an nmap scan. I'm going to do sudo nmap, just like you always do it. So let's start with the aggressive scan. Then now on the machine, Authby. Then I'm going to save this into normal format, just nmap, and I'm going to put this aggressive. And at the moment, let me do this v. Let's make it run. So at the moment, I can see it's port 21 for FTP and 3389. So at the moment, I'm just going to save this. So this is under nmap and enumeration. So 21, and we know this is running FTP service. And the next one was 3389 for RDP. And this one is for RDP. But it's still running, should be done in a moment now. Okay, it's done. So let me open this nmap. Then now here, I'm going to do gedit. And I'm going to maximize this. Where is it? I can remember how to make it big. I think this should be under preference. Just a moment here. Yep. Editor font color. So here. Yep. So let's take it to maybe 14. Yeah, perfect. So I think everyone should be able to see this. So at the moment I'm seeing 2 open ports, and let's have, there could be more ports hidden. We are not sure. So let's do a full nmap port scan. So I'm going to do sudo nmap -p- this is for all ports on Authby. Then now I'm going to say this normal format on nmap, and then now make it ports. So this sudo nmap, confirm this is the for all the ports. Then now for the target IP, let's save it here. So I'll let this run in the background. I'm going to name this nmap. I'm going to start another terminal here. Okay, so let's have a look. What do we see here? FTP is running, and you can see an anonymous FTP login has been allowed. So this is the files that are inside there. Then you also have 3389. So let's put down here in our notes. So what have we seen here? Anonymous has been allowed. Anonymous allowed. And anything else interesting? Let me see. We need to dig in further. Also, we have the version number. This is a good one to have. So I'm going to copy this version. That's a good one to have. So I'm just taking my notes. Then now let's go back here. Anything else? The anonymous is allowed. Then now you can see the files. We'll have to enumerate further on this. So let's check the other port, 3389. So here, this is RDP that's running. You have SSL, and you have the name. So this could be a username, maybe. We don't know, so let's just save it. Let me create a node here. I'm gonna put this maybe accounts. And the other one was LiveDA. I'm going to go back here, FTP. So we found a common name. I'm gonna paste it here. Let's go back. Okay, I can see on the chat, someone asked, how do you get the arrow symbol in your notes? This one I've just typed, let me move it, the dash, or is it hyphen? Then now there's the other sign, greater sign, then now it comes. Whenever I hit enter, it just shows. So the dash, then the greater sign, and it comes. So where were we? We got the 3389, that was the RDP. There's nothing much you can get here from this 3389. We have to have a username and a password, or we can try to brute force here. So here, let's put need logins. Actually, I'm just gonna put this with the arrow sign. Need logins, because we don't have, we have a username, but we don't have a password. We might try to brute force, but before we brute force, let's try to enumerate this FTP. There might be something here that's hidden. So I'm going to go back and let's authenticate to the FTP. So I'm going to do FTP Authby. I'm going to enter. I'm going to do anonymous. I'm going to do the same anonymous. Good, we are logged in, and you can see it's using binary mode to transfer files, so that's good. So whenever we upload files, we don't need to specify that bin mode. So dir. Notice some files. Okay, our nmap scan is done. So notice there's a zftp.exe, uninstall, Also see accounts. Then you can see all these files are owned by root. And something else, since you are logged in as guest or an anonymous user, I don't think you have permissions to do anything to these files. There's no permissions that have been assigned here. So we have a directory. So let's check what's inside the log. So I'm going to go to cd log. Let's do a dir. Okay, a bunch of log files. Let's see if we can grab this file as, for example, which I doubt, unless if you're running as root, let's see if we can grab this file. I'm going to get this. Yeah, we get access denied because we are running as a guest user and there's no permissions that have been assigned here. I'm just gonna go back and to dir again. Something interesting here I can see is accounts. Accounts looks interesting. Let's see if we can get some more information from it. So cd accounts. Let's do a dir. Oh, this is interesting. We found 3 accounts: OffSec, anonymous, and admin. So we already know anonymous. So let's have OffSec and admin. So I'm going to add this here. OffSec and admin. Also, I'm going to save it here. I'm going to do this. So found more accounts, which I'm just gonna put it here. And it was now OffSec, admin, and anonymous, which we already know anonymous. Anything else? Maybe backup could contain something. Let's go to backup and do dir. Okay, still the same. And I'm also looking at the dates. I can see something has changed. If we look at these files here, it shows 2 or 11, but for accounts it's 2023. So something might have been modified here. Same thing with here, 2023. So this could be old files, or when it was installed, then our new accounts were added. So the last modified date was 2023. Okay, is there anything we can check here? The FTP, the backup contains the same. Just gonna go back. Maybe there's another directory you have not obtained. Let's go back again. That's the backup. There's any directory. Let's see under extensions. Maybe there could be something here. We do a dir. There's nothing there. Let's go back. Let's go to cd into certificates. Do a dir. Still nothing on the certificates. Anything else? Okay, that was it. They've rechecked accounts. So, and the enumeration, make sure you check everything. Don't leave anything, any stone unturned. You might leave something, then you find you needed it in the next step. So let's review what we have. We found an anonymous login is allowed. We have the version. Then we have found 3 accounts. And here we have found a common name and we need logins, definitely. I don't think there's a vulnerability in the RDP. There could be, but I'm not sure. So let's see, could there be a vulnerability in this that you can try to exploit and maybe gain command execution? So I'm just gonna copy this and I'm going to search it. I'm gonna do exploit, I'm gonna append exploit there. And we get 2 exploits. Actually, it's the same exploit. One from exploit DB and another from the packet storm. So let's open both of them. And also I'm going to open this one. Let's see what these exploits do. So remove directory traversal, and it uses Perl. Just going to look at it. The moment I'm not familiar with the language Perl, but I can try to read. As long as you understand one language, then you should be able to understand most of the other programming languages. You can see it's trying to log in with the user anonymous. So this one might work because we have tried anonymous and it has worked for us. And this one is educational purpose. Okay. So it tries to log in and looking at the print statements. Doesn't really look like it's executing commands, just going to remove the directory. And for this, it's not really gonna help us. We don't want to be removing the directories unless we're able to remove and to replace. For example, if we're able to replace, let's go back here. Let's say we can assume that there's a user that always logs into this machine and executes this program. And if you're able to replace this, you might be able to get a shell as them. It might be them trying to think they're executing the right executable, but it's actually our backdoor. But at the moment, this exploit only enables us to remove. I'm going to go back here. I think it's the same as this. Remove directory traversal. Okay, so at least here we have more information about the vulnerability. So it's prone to directory traversal, which makes it possible to delete directories in the system. Okay. This could be good if you're trying to do some malicious activities, but we are not doing that. For us, we want to get command execution. We want to execute commands. We want to get initial access. So this exploit will not work for us, but it's good to have it. So here, let's just note it down. Might be vulnerable. And the exploit is going to copy the exploit DB number 18235. So there's no other exploits that could be used. Just going to ignore these other ones, the FTP. No other exploits here. So let's go back. So what can we do? We already have, we know this version and it's vulnerable to this, but this exploit will not work for us, but we have more accounts. And we know the password for this is actually the same, anonymous. So what are the chances also this admin and OffSec are the same? Could they be using the same username and same password? So maybe, let's try. So I'm going to quit this. And I'm going to try again. And this time I'm going to try OffSec. And let's try OffSec again. Okay, login failed. And the error message is this. So I'm going to copy this. So here I'm going to put error. That's the error we have received. What about admin? Let's try to log in again with admin. So I'm going to quit this and try again. And I'm going to enter this admin, then let's try again admin. Well, looks like we have managed to log in, just admin. So whoever set this up really used a simple logins here. So admin. And do we get the same files? Okay, this is interesting. So it seems like we have index.php.ht password and .ht access. These are different files compared to what we saw earlier. And the anonymous, we got the ZFTP configuration. And go back here. Here it looks like the admin directory has been mapped to something else. Looks like there's a web directory. And there should be a web application running, but these are the only ports. So I want to go back. Let's check the nmap scan. Looks like it has found more ports. So 242 and 3145. So let's do, I bet one of these has to be a web server. So I'm going to do a full nmap scan on it. So I'm going to do on the ports, let's do again 21, 242, should we remove this? 3145, 3389. I'm going to do default scripts and service versions on Authby. Then I'm going to save this normal format on nmap. I'm going to put all. So sudo nmap on these ports 21, 242, 3145, 3389, default scripts and versions, Authby and all. So need to start. And that is running. Let's check here. So you saw admin, and there are files that were so using admin. Let's see if you can be able to grab these files. So I'm going to do an mget on all the files, and it's going to prompt us. Who knows how to automate this instead of always pressing yes, yes? Because let's say there were like 100 files. We're able to press on Y every single time. Good thing here, they're just 3 files, so it's just easy. So I'm going to do quit and look at the files. So we have the index, and before we get here, let's look at the nmap. I can see it's done. I'm going to go back here to the nmap. It's done, and let's open it. I think I put it as all. Okay, we already know we have the 21. It's running FTP. Yeah, we found the web server. So, and it's running on port 242, and it's open. Then you have basic RAM because it requires authorization and something here. This language, don't know that this is Spanish or French. I'm not really sure. Then you also have a ZFTP server on 3145. Okay, so let's see what you can access here on 242. I'm going to come back here. Let's open a new tab, and I'm going to go to, let me copy my IP. And I'm going to go to 242. Looks like that's prompted us for username and password. And I think we already have the credentials, right? Let's try what we have here. I'm going to go back to our tree here, and I'm going to try admin. Okay, that doesn't look like it's working. Maybe OffSec. Let's try another OffSec. Trying and sign in again. Okay, it doesn't look like it's working. What about anonymous? And anonymous again. Okay, we don't have the credentials for this. So let's have a look at the file that we have downloaded here. The first one you saw was index.php. So what's inside this index? So I'm just going to do a cut on index.php. And this looks familiar. Did we see it here? Let's go back. Yes, actually, it's the same. This is what we had seen here. And I'm curious, so what does this mean? I'm going to copy it. Here, left something there. I'm going to try to translate this. I'm going to remove that. So let's go to Google Translate. Hopefully it's able to understand this. I'm going to paste it here. Remove this last part. He who wants to be a nut from a nut breaks the nut. I don't know what this means. He who wants to be a nut breaks from a nut. Who wants to be a nut from a nut breaks the nut. Looks like it's like a tongue twister. Okay, maybe there could be a certain password here. I'm really not sure. So where were we? That one was the index.php. There are also some hidden files. So I'm going to do a ls-a And there was this HT access and HT password. So what's in here? HT access. Okay, something about the NAT here. Basic authentication type. And we have an auth user file. And I think we have it here. So could this be the password you're going to use here? So let's see. I'm going to cat.ht password. We have another credential here for OffSec. I think this is now the credential for OffSec. But it's encrypted. Could we crack this? So let's put it down. So using admin, what did we do? We grabbed three web files. And it was index.php and .ht access and .ht password. And here we got the password for OffSec, which was, let's get the plain text of this. So let's try to crack this. And how can we crack this? I'm going to copy this. We should get it fully. And let's echo this. To echo this into hash. Did we get it fully? Okay, good. So we can use a tool called John to crack this hash. So I'm going to search, so I'm going to type John, then now the word list. The word is going to use this raw queue. So user share word list, then raw queue actually does not been unzipped. So let's unzip this. So it's a gun zip, if I remember correctly. User share word list raw queue, and I think we need sudo here. Yes, so enter my password. Okay, I'll go back here. I'm going to remove this txt and the hash, and let me remove this space. Nice. Doesn't take any time. So the password is elite. So I think we can replace this with elite. And also you have our accounts here. So we found this one was also elite, and this one admin, and we don't know about LiDAR. So let's see, we already have credentials. Could we use them to log in via RDP? Because this is the only port that we don't have access. So I'm going to try that, and let's do username. Let's do the OffSec one. OffSec, and the password, we have found it's elite. And let's log in. So I'm going to use xfree RDP and -u for username. It's username. Then P for the password. And then now V for the target machine. So you know it's Authby. And I'm going to, I think it's correct. Let's try to enter. Looks like we're receiving an error. Error connect failed. Is my VPN okay? The VPN is connected. Let's try to ping. Are we connected? Okay, looks like we're connected. Sometimes you may encounter this error in the labs or in the portal when you're doing this, so it's good to try different tools. We have tried with xfree RDP. Let's try with R desktop. So I'm going to try our desktop because we already know port 3389 is open, so we should be able to RDP. So -u, I'm gonna do username. I'm trying to complete -p for password, and then now Authby. Then let's do a G of size of 80%. Looks like it's working. Yes, yes. hopefully able to log in via RDP. Username and password is incorrect. So this is Windows Server 208 standard. So we were trying the OffSec Elite. Let's try again. Elite. Hopefully we don't lock the account. Looks like it's not working. Anything that we have here. Let's try admin. Maybe it could be something simple too. I'm going to try to switch user. I'm going to try something else. So admin and also admin again. Hit enter. Still. So it looks like those credentials don't work here. Close this. You don't want to lock any account. So if you try these credentials on here, because remember, you still need logins in order to log in into the RDP. So is there someone else we can try this? We grab 3 files and those are HT access. So let's try to go back here. Remember, there's some credentials you're being prompted here. Let's try what you have received. The OffSec and Elite. Oh, nice. Want to not save. We're able to log in, and we have the nuts here. I'm going to try to maximize this a bit. Looks like those credentials work, so we're able to log in. You can see someone in the chat said FTP via OffSec. I think yes, we tried that and we received this error. Access denied, home directory not available. It's good to try those credentials everywhere. You might forget something and you find that was the way forward. So once you get something, just go back to the start and try to see where can that be used to move forward again. So using admin, we're able to log in, and this is 21. So the other one was 242, I think. Yeah, 242. Actually, I'm going to maximize this. Nmap is going to be heading 1, and this one, let's put this heading 2, and this one also this 2, heading 2. This one should go back to normal. Okay, so this is port 242, and here we managed to log in. The credentials we used was OffSec and the password was Elite. So what do we have access here? This one was now the Apache. So what can we do here? Do you have any files? I'm gonna do some maybe robots. Is mostly found on mostly all the server, robots.txt. Not found. And wait a minute. Could this be the same files that we found via the application, via the FTP? Let's try and go back here, Authby. I'm going to log in as admin and admin again, and dir. Could this be the same files? We have an index.php. Let's see. Index.php. Okay, looks like it's working. So maybe you could be accessing this. And what if we try to put something here? Let's see. So I'm going to try to create a file. So maybe let's say echo works to Bob, for example, maybe bob.txt. And let's try to upload this. I'm going to put bob.txt. Oh, that's nice. Looks like we're able to write here. And perfect. We have bob.txt here. So let's see. Fingers crossed we're able to access this. So bob.txt. Ah, perfect. Looks like we're able to upload files. So meaning we should be able to execute some commands here. So what can you do to execute commands? So I'm just gonna quit this. So for the ones who are arriving, we are doing the Authby target machine. We are now trying to get initial access. So let's go back here. And you can try to upload a simple backdoor, simple PHP backdoor. So let me try to locate the file. I'm not sure about the full path. So simple backdoor.php. So let me copy this. I'm going to copy this user, share, web shells, PHP, and simple backdoor.php. You should need to put it here. And I'm going to try to upload this to see if we are able to execute commands. I'm going to go back, FTP, Authby, then login is the same, admin, then now admin, and let's put this simple backdoor.php. Just been put, let's go dir. Nice, it's here. So I'm gonna quit this and let's check this. And I'm going to go simple backdoor.php. Okay, so it looks like it's working. This is how you're going to execute it. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste this here. And this is a Windows machine, so this will not work. There's no etc +wd, and also I don't think there's a cat command in Windows. So let's do a command that's going to run in any operating system, like who am I? Yeah, nice. Now we do have command execution. What about something like dir, which directory you're working in? Okay, it's like it's the wamp www. That's nice. Let's see. Let's move from the browser to the. Let's see if we're able to execute from here. So I'm going to use curl, and this is the command you're going to use. And let's see if we're able to get exact output from here. A terminal. Looks like the server cannot verify. Yeah, because we need to log in. Remember here at first we needed to log in. So let's try to log in. So how do we do that? Can come here, and it was OffSec and the password was elite. Then use the @ to log in, and perfect. We're able to get this same directory. So let's add a space here. Let's do maybe, let's check our privileges. Who am I? And priv, and this space might interfere. So let's do you can do a add. Still doesn't work. And for the same work here, let's see. Who am I / actually there should be a / here. Priv, yeah. Okay, that's nice. So there should be a /. Oh, perfect. So we need to URL encode this in order for it to work. So let's try to change it. I'm going to remove this, actually all of this, and I'm going to do this. We have this switch called data-URL encode. So curl to encode for us. We don't have to worry about encoding it. And the data is this CMD. So I'm going to put this in quotes. CMD equals to, let's do dir/a and close it. Let's hit enter. And now it works. Okay, looks like you're able to access the same files. And let's try another command here. Anything that we can try, maybe let's try to see some other files, maybe in C. Okay, looks like we're able to see the commands there. Other thing, okay, seems like we are just changing commands. Is there a way we can try to automate this instead of always coming back here and changing this over and over, because you're going to run multiple commands. Like for example, you can type in ipconfig. I like the way we can try to create like a loop, and it's going to change this over and over. So to create a loop, let's use a do while loop. I'm going to do this. So let's do a do. So I'm going to start with a while. This will be while true. So this one is going to run. It's not going to exit because it's always going to be true. And what do we want to do here? So I want us to do, and from the terminal, let's get some commands. How can we get an input command? So let's do a read, and we're going to save as a prompt. And let's just put something like this. And you're going to see why we're doing that. And then now we're going to save whatever the user inputs here. I'm going to save it in a variable called command. And at the moment, we need to find a way to exit this loop. So how do we do that? Because remember, this is going to be always executing. We need to find a way to exit from this loop. So we're going to create an if block, and I'm going to check if this command, which is this, if this command is equal to, let's say, if we type in exit, then if this if block becomes true, then we need to exit from this. So we're going to do an and here, and we're just going to break from this loop. And at the moment, just for an example, if this if the command we typed is not exit, we need it to do something. So as an example, let's try to execute whatever has been entered by the user. So I'm going to do an eval, and just do the same command. Then you're going to do done. So I'm going to execute this, and let's see what happens. Looks like something is not right here. We have a read, and you also have a Z shell not found. This is what I was telling you earlier. There's a difference between the Z shell and the bash shell, because if we try the same here, then it's gonna copy this, and I'm going to start a bash shell. So bin bash, I'm going to try the same thing. You can see here it runs, and you do a command like ID, you can see it's being executed. Who am I? It's been executed. And if we type exit, now exit will fall into this. And now exit, it now exits this script. But how can we make it run here? So this difference is, let me exit here. I'm going to go back. For the Z shell, it doesn't use this -p. For that has been replaced with a question mark. And the other thing is this equals. Going to remove this. And let's try again. You can see now it runs. So ID, you have that. Who am I? So it's like another terminal we have created. It is being executed within this eval. So I'm going to exit this. So remember, we wanted to execute that curl command. I'm going to come back here. So this is the command that you wanted to run. So I'm just going to copy this. Let's copy it. And here replace our eval, our command actually, with this. I'm going to put in quotes here. Then now here, instead of now ipconfig, we're going to put now our command. Let me remove this. So command equals to command. Let's remove this. Let's hit enter. So let's do who am I? We can see it's now running. We have sort of terminal here, and also let's do an IP config. You can also see it's now running. So you've created some sort of script that executes this command over and over. So we can keep doing this, but this shell or this sort of terminal is not really great for us. We need to get a reverse shell. So let's try to upload a backdoor, which we can execute and give us a proper shell. So how can we do that? So I'm going to open a new terminal here, and we can use this. Let's locate netcat. Netcat is a good one. And let's use this. I'm going to copy user, share, Windows resources, then our binaries to netcat. I'm going to copy it to here. Let's hopefully there's no antivirus. Maybe it might remove it, but for netcat, might remove it or not, but let's hope so it don't get removed. So I've copied netcat here. Okay. And I think that's it. Don't think there's anything else. Let's start our listener. LVP, I'm going to put it on 443 and put in my password. And let's upload it here. And the current directory we're working on is this. So how can we put a file here? We can use the search util command to download file or any other commands to download. But remember, we have an FTP service and you can use it to upload files here to this. So let's try that, which is much easier because an FTP is meant for file transfer. So let's open another terminal here. And here's where we have the netcat. So let's do an FTP on Authby. And it was admin, then now admin. Okay, let's do a dir. Okay, that's good. We are using the binary mode to transfer files. I'm going to put the netcat.exe. Perfect. So I'm going to exit this. So let's come back here. Let's confirm the file has been uploaded. You can see it's here. So let's try to execute it. netcat.exe. We send it back to ourselves. So it's a reverse shell 92 and 68. I'm looking at my IP 45.212. Then now it's 443. Listener, I started on 443. Then now we're going to send cmd.exe. It looks like we get could not connect to server. It looks like it's trying to connect back to us on port 80. Let's see. Failed to connect to port 80, could not connect to server. So something is wrong here. You have specified is 443. Let's see. Let's try to get this shell back. And do a dir. Okay, we can try to specify the full path. Maybe that could be the issue, netcat.exe, and we're going to send it to this 45.212, and it's 443, and it's execute cmd.exe. Still failed to connect to, couldn't connect to server. So not sure why it's trying to connect on port 80, and we are trying on 443. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. Could be the spaces, maybe use CMD. Yeah, I think maybe the issue could be here. Maybe you can add some quotes here in it to see whether it's going to work. Because here I'm using CMD. Let's try a different way here. You see whether you can break this. Yeah, let's try that. So I'm going to come back here. We know it's CMD, we're saving it there. The rest of command works. So let's maybe wrap this in quotes. And dir, let's do again netcat.exe. Hopefully this works. 45.212 and it was 443 and sender cmd.exe. Still the same. Like it doesn't want us to get a reverse shell. Maybe we need to try a bit harder. Let's see. Maybe the quote is somewhere else, but why is the rest? Okay, actually, let me see. It's breaking here. Instead of that quote, let's try this other quote here. And instead of typing this over and over, I'm going to copy it. Paste that. Ah, nice. Perfect. Yeah, you're correct. We needed to wrap this. So let's go back. So why was it failing earlier? Looks like we needed to wrap this in quotes. And the first time you use this double quote, but remember we started with this double quote, so it was somehow breaking. But we changed it to single quote and now it has worked. So now we have a proper reverse shell. And who am I /priv. So now we have initial access. So this was part under enumeration. Let's go back here. And it was now initial access. And I'm going to put this as the heading one. So via web server now upload backdoor, which was now netcat.exe. And all this was now using the admin on the FTP and also using it was OffSec and was it Elite? Yeah, on the Apache. And we also tried these credentials on the RDP and still it didn't work. So let's see, how can we escalate our privileges? Copy this, let's put it heading 1. And I think I'd seen something very easy here. I'd seen CE impersonate privilege. And who are you running? Who are you running as, by the way? The Apache user. This will explain why we have the CE impersonate privilege. Let's see if we can escalate using this. I'm going to copy this and let's search for this. Actually, we don't need this, impersonate and exploit. Because I'm pretty sure there's some exploit you can use for this CE impersonate privilege. And Hactrix also have some good resources. I'm going to open it. Let's see. Let's see impersonate privilege. Yeah, it looks like we have a couple of exploits: Rock Potato, Prince Pooper, God Potato, and Sharp EFS. Let's go to any of these. Also look like you can use Prince Pooper and Netcat, and you already have Netcat, and also Rock Potato. So where can we download this? Let's try Prince Pooper here. I'm going to search for it, Prince Pooper, GitHub. I think this is a good link to use. We need the compiled version. We have the release here. Let's see, which one should we use here? 32 or 64 bits? Let's get more information first. So let's run system info. And here we have LiveDAR. Okay, this is a server 208. We have already seen this, and this is server pack build. This is a very old machine. Kind of this build. And also I'm looking back, no hotfix have been installed. Okay, and it's also an 86-bit. It's also 86-bit PC. So meaning we need to grab this 32-bit. So let's download this. It has been downloaded, and let's upload this. So I'm going to go back. Still sticking to this. Let's go and upload it. I'm going to use the same FTP. First, let's move it from the downloads print spoofer to dot here. And if this command is correct, let's go to FTP Authby. And we're going to connect as admin. Then it was same admin. And using this mode to transfer files, we're going to put here, let's put the print spoofer. Perfect. It has been uploaded. So let's say bye. And let's go back here and print spoofer. But how do we execute it? Let's go back. I think I've seen a guide here. Print spoofer -c, same thing as we did. So, and we provide the full path. And before that, let's start our reverse shell. Actually, I'm going to start it here. Netcat minus NLVP, let's do 443. My password, so let's put it there. I'm going to name it. I can use as nmap. Actually, let's do shell. Go back here to. I think we can close this. Back to 1. Okay, so we're back here. It was now, let's do print spoofer. And it was -c, right? Let's go back here. Yeah, -c. Then now the full path. Are there quotes? Yeah, we do have quotes. So quotes, and now let's provide the full path. And now here it was netcat because we already have netcat started.exe. Then now our IP 45.212 and 443. And to send cmd.exe and hit enter. Hopefully get a shell, and by the looks of it, no shell. So why is it not working? Let's go back here. We already executed the exact, so let's see. Is it exploit working? Let's do a dash help. Looks like it just runs and it fails. Could there be something? Because it runs for a second, then it fails. Let's try to direct this to some log.txt. There is something that's being run. Maybe it's our terminal or our command prompt is not good. Was this file created? Yes, it was, but there's nothing inside here. So something is not right here. That was print spoofer. You can try to use the other rock potato. But first, before we start jumping to exploiting the machine, let's try to enumerate, see what we can get here. So a good tool to use for enumeration is WinPys. I like using WinPys. It really runs the scripts, checks the directories, any hidden directories, any passwords. Maybe there could be a password here. Like for example, I can see HT password, but you already know what's inside here. So let's try to upload WinPys and see. Let's go back here to the shells. Let's gonna cancel it. And I don't think I have PZ installed, so I'm just going to install it. Before I do that, so that update and sudo apt install is. I'm going to install the WinPys. Okay, I usually use, read the chat, I usually use print spoofer. Okay, let's try that. go back to here. I'm going to maximize this. Let's try that suggestion. Come back here down and -I, then now -C. Hopefully it opens CMD in this same .exe. Looks like it's not working. Let's try again. Maybe it's opening and it's crashing. Let's try this cmd.exe/c. Let's direct this to, okay, the command won't run, maybe let's say who am I, and let's send this to log2.txt. So print spoofer -I -c, the command won't execute, and let's execute this. It looks like it ran, but you don't see any log2. So still, this print spoofer seems fair. Let's enumerate first. Okay, so peas has been installed, so I'm going to go to the peas. And what I want here, because this is an old machine, let's try the BAT file. So I'm going to copy this, winpeas, then now winpeas.bat, and let's copy it to where we were, which is the documents, pg, Authby, copy it there, and let's cd back to here. Yeah, it's not a silver bullet. Yeah, so we have the WinPeas. Let's upload it. So I'm going to do FTP Authby, and the same credentials, admin, then it was admin. And let's put this, what was it named? WinPeas.bat file. Okay, let's say bye. FTP has really been helpful to us. Let's confirm it has been uploaded. Okay, so let's run this. And because of the output of how long it is, I like to redirect this to, let's say, winpeas.log. Actually, not enough for us to read this file, the terminal. Let's first remove this for now. Just run it. Oh, perfect. And when it's running, let's go back here, go search to winpeas. Okay, so this is the start. I really like this face. I think it's the face of the peas, and it's somehow smiling. And it's like let's say a ribbon on its head. So WinPeas should be used for authorized penetration testing and educational purpose only. Okay, yeah, we're doing for educational purpose, so we're not breaking any rules here. And you can see the host name. This one, you already extracted this information. And a lot of patches have not been installed here. Lots of them, lots, and they just keep on going and going. Interesting. So I really think there's a kernel exploit you can use to exploit this machine. Let's just continue checking date and time, looking for the red ones. Nothing red at the moment. PowerShell, mounted disk. So if you did find anything, you might want to check the disk D and maybe E. There could be some more information there. Let's keep on scrolling. Install software. Interesting. We have Wireshark installed. Okay. Let's keep on searching. Any services that stands out? I'm not seeing any. Okay. Run a startup. Okay, nothing here. Also schedule tasks. Not seeing any that stands out. So here, actually, kernel exploits. Because you've seen a lot of missing patches. Okay. always install elevated, nothing here. Live DAGs are the interfaces. I don't think we have another machine running inside here, so interface are not care that much. I'm just gonna continue the ports. Maybe it could be another service running here that's blocked by the firewall. FTP I'd seen, SMB. Interesting, we have SMB running, but we are the nmap. You didn't see any SMB running here. So there could be some file that's breaking us from accessing this. It's blocking actually. And also we have MySQL or PostgreSQL running here. Okay, we might want to check this. I'm gonna keep continuing. Anything that stands out in red, okay, this is the firewall rules. Going to see something in red that stands out. Host file, nothing interesting. Current user, yes, we have the Apache. No special groups. If it was administrator, maybe it could just be an easy win. Privileges, any privileges? Okay, you can see here high mandatory levels. This is interesting. Privileges, we had seen this, and I still think we can exploit this. So I'm gonna copy it and save it in our notes. Maybe, let's put a question mark. Users, Apache, LiDAR. Okay, these are the groups. Only the administrator is there. Vulnerabilities, nothing. Unquoted service path. Okay, let's look at just the default ones. Nothing really that stands out. Okay, clicks the end. Scan complete. These are other files, and I don't think they are interesting for now. There's no SAN and system backups here. So let's see. Kernel exploit and CE impersonate privilege. So let's see whether you can find any kernel exploits first. And a good tool, well, I'm going to see the terminal. Okay, you're back. System info. Is this tool I like using if it's for kernel exploit. It's called WES-NG. The Windows Exploit Suggester, next generation. And we need to install this tool. So let's come back here, do we install it? So pip install WES-NG. And this is for Python. And for Python, for any packages for Python, I like to install them in a virtual environment because sometimes it breaks the other Python that have been installed. I've had issues with my previous Kali machine where I install a certain Python package, everything else breaks. So I find I have to start over and you can't really find the exact Python that's causing an issue, especially during the migration from Python 2 to Python 3. So to create a virtual environment, you can use this tool, which is already installed by default, virtual env, and let's call it env. So this one creates a virtual environment, and let's activate this virtual environment. So source env, and now being activate. So you can see it has been activated. On my terminal, it shows here, but on your terminal, it might show something here. Then now you can install this. Pip install WES-NG. Was it WES-NG? Yep. So this will install it in this virtual environment. It won't affect the other Python packages that have been installed. So let's try to run it. So to run it is just WES, and let's just try help. Okay, wonderful, it's running. So let's start at the top. What does it need? And looks like there's a warning here. Chadet module not installed. So let's install this. Next, looks like it does need this. Okay, it's running, but let's just install it. Yeah, so let's try to run it. Where's ng? It was just where's dash help. Okay, so how do you run this? Come back here, see how we run this. So SNG Windows exploit suggester. And I think we need to pass it the system info file. And I'm looking at the options used to update the definitions. Okay, -e is a good one to use. Show only vulnerabilities known exploits because you want the one that have exploits. So -e. Impacts, severities, output file. Okay, so let's see, how do we run it? Looks like this is a good one. So just systeminfo.txt. Okay, so I don't think we have saved the information. So let's get it. Actually, good thing it's here. So I'm going to copy this and let's save it in the file. How do we do? So gedit system info. I'm gonna save that file here. And let me save it. And it was wes ng, actually it was just wes, then system info and -e for the exploit, the vulnerability that have an exploit. Run this. You're getting an error and you're telling us to, okay, you need to update first. So let's just follow the instructions here. -- update. Okay, it's running. Perfect. So let's try to run it again. Oh, nice. It has found the operating system and lots of missing patches. And what are the results here? Okay, we get a bunch of them. And to filter this, notice we have an impact here. Remote code execution, then we have elevation of privilege. So since we already have initial access, what we want is the elevation of privilege. So let's specify the impact of elevation of this privilege. So I'm going to come back here, -i, and specify that elevation of privilege, and I think this should be in quotes. Wherever there's a space in bash, make sure you add a quote. So this provide the same output, but now with only impact is elevation of privilege, elevation of privilege, elevation of privilege. So after multiple trials here, let's go back here. This is what it showed us, the vulnerabilities. This way it started. So I'm going to go down. The one that worked for me was this exploit. So after this, you can just try this. Let's say you're in an exam, you don't know which one to use. You can first try this, upload it, execute it. If it doesn't work, make sure to revert the machine. For the kernel, always make sure to revert the machine once you try it and it fails. So the one that worked for me was this one here at the bottom, 40564, and it's from CVE to 111249. So let's get this. I'm just gonna type it here and to download it. Search for it. I'm going to mirror 40564. But how do we exploit this, or how do we compile this? Because I can see it's a C. So let's try to get more information here. I'm going to open link. Hopefully you have a way to compile it via exploitdb. You can see this is Microsoft Windows 86. This looks interesting. It looks like what we have here, 208. And actually the one we have is 432. Okay. And yeah, perfect. We have the exploit notes. Exploit compiling Kali GNU Linux 64B. So this is what we have. So I'm going to copy this. Hopefully this has been installed. Copy and run this. But we need to change this because our file has not been saved with this. and saved like this. Nice, no errors. So it has been compiled to this, which you see it here. So let's try to upload this. And I'm going to go to FTP on Authby. Let's do, it was admin, then admin, then let's do a dir. Okay, let's put this. Perfect. So dir again. It has been uploaded. So let's execute this. So then let's say bye. Go back to our previous terminal here. I'm going to execute it. And nice. We are now in T authority system. So meaning we can go into the administrator user and to desktop, and here you can grab the proof file and also the local file and submit it. So finally we're going to execute to NT authority system. Let's go back to our notes here. Can exploit worked, and it was via now 40 what? Let's go back here. Or 0564. Go back here. Now we are running as system. So meaning you have fully owned this machine. All the way starting from just the FTP, an anonymous user being allowed to log in as the admin, be able to grab the credentials via admin. Admin was mapped to a different directory, which is now the web files. And the web files were able to grab the password, which was now for OffSec. And the password was elite, which is here actually. And that we're able to place a backdoor and get our initial access. And the machine was actually vulnerable because it wasn't installed, multiple patches were not installed on it. So one of the kernel exploit worked for us, which enabled us to escalate our rights. And here it was 4604, and I like getting the CVE. I think it was 20 something. Let's go back here. Copy. Let's just search these results. Yeah, CV 2111249. This looks like a good report. You can put this in like your exam. Let's say you're doing an exam, you're writing a report. Someone can easily follow along. So make sure to attach the commands that you're running, any screenshots, so that someone who's grading, for those who are grade, able to follow along easily. But there's something I'm curious. 3389, you have not managed to log in here. Let's see if we are able to log in via this, because right now we are system. Let's see if we can access it. So to come back here, and we can create our user, or let's try to reset the administrator's password. So net user administrator, and let's do this password. Perfect. So let's try to log in as the administrator user. To cancel this, so let's do our desktop dash user is administrator dash password. You put 1234.abc, and it was Authby, and let's do the size of 80%. Okay, 80%. Yes, and yes. It's trying to log in. Okay, we have the live there. These are the accounts, and actually you have the profile here, and the proof contents is here. So we have managed to exploit this from the start to the end. So that was the attacker side. So what about the defender side? What made this machine vulnerable? First of all, the initial access was via the anonymous FTP server. And the application I can see installed was this ZFTP administration. So let's see. Was anonymous user configured here? You can see these are the, looks like the logs. So user password admin. I think this is all us because it's coming from 2024. It's at the time. Command, let's look at system. Okay, I can see accounts here. And I can see an anonymous user. So anonymous user has been allowed. So to block this, because this shouldn't be allowed in a production environment. No one should be logging as the anonymous user, and this has not been ticked to require a password. So we can disable this user. We can actually delete this user, or we can remove them from trying to log in. So anonymous user has been removed. So now no one can log in as the anonymous user. That was the first step. We were able to log in as anonymous user and got the admin credentials. Their accounts, one of them was admin, anonymous, and OffSec. So the admin, they used a weak password. So one thing, they need to change this. Instead of using a weak password, they should change this to a small, stronger account password. Yeah, not using easy passwords. It can't be the same username and same password. And not just that, why are they mapped to this directory? They want that because this is where the backdoor was placed. Do they actually need this access? So maybe we might want to remove them from having access to here. But let's say they are an IT user or a web user who need to access these files. They actually need these rights. So one of them, change the password. Second one here, what if we remove them from reading files? Yeah. They're able to list the files, they're able to write it, but they shouldn't be able to read these files. Why have I removed this read file? Remember, we grabbed this HT password, and without this, we could not be able to continue. We couldn't be able to exploit that machine without this password. You'll be able to place files, yes, but without the password, there's no way we could have continued. So by removing these read files, it actually blocks that attack. We have patched this vulnerability. So one, changing their credentials to a more complex password. Two, removing this. And that was the admin. The OffSec user, let's see. We didn't manage to log in here, and they have not been marked anything. And actually, I've remembered something. For the admin, I think it was under security. Yeah. We can enable access control. So this only allow user to log in from a certain address. They say they're always working from home and their public IP doesn't change, or maybe they are from office, their IP doesn't change. So we need to put in the IP here so that even if their credentials are leaked, doesn't matter how complex the password is, the attacker cannot log in. They need to somehow spoof the IP, and they don't know which IP to use. So this is also a good option to enable. Right now, I'm not able to enable it because the license needs to have a paid version, but if it was a paid application, you could have clicked yes and to enable this. I'm going to go back here, and we have the admin restrictions. Let's go to the home directory. So read has been removed. OffSec. Looks like we have their real name. I'm not psychic, Okay, we know now. That is OffSec, and this is the password. And what does this user do actually? For any account that doesn't do anything, it's better to remove it. We don't know what they're doing. So let's deny login for now. If they request access, if they're psychic, then they'll know that we have removed them. And let's click on OK here. And let's try to exploit it again. So I'm going to start here, then FTP, it was Authby. Let's go with the, what was it? I'm going to exit here. FTP, Authby, and let's start with the admin. So able to log in, yes. Let's look at the directory. We're able to read the directory, and we don't have access to this. So let's try to get this file. So get HT password, and we get access denied. So, but you should be able to place files here. Let's say, for example, I'm going to create another file. I call maybe testing to test.txt. Then I'm going to put tests. So yes, we're able to place files, but even if we're able to access it here, no matter what we do from the web, we need that password. And I'm gonna go back here. We need the password for here. So this attack has been stopped. And the other one, the one that we're able to log in, let's go administrate, actually it was Authby. So anonymous, and let's try anonymous again. We can't log in. So the first initial access has already been blocked. So there's no way we can exploit this machine. So that was for the initial access. But let's say, for example, someone managed to get access to this machine, just like we did, and they need to escalate their privileges from the local user to the administrator user. So this machine is a Windows Server 208. First of all, that's very, very old. It needs to be updated to the latest Windows version, and patches need to be installed. Right now, we can't run it. Think under control panel, then Windows update. Wow, this is old. So this is how control panel used to look like some years back. So run the Windows update, and then run it won't work because of the internet. These labs are not connected to the internet. Okay, so that's cool. Don't think there's anything else. I'm going to quit this. I'm going to come back here. Where were we? So we have already seen the kernel exploit, and now we have defended it. So let's go to the prizes. We are finally now at the end. So who will be our winners for the PG practice free 1 month subscription? I'm going to do Control F here. I'm going to maximize this. So there are going to be some questions. And the first one who gets the question correct, the first 3 people get the free subscription. So get your keyboard ready, just an easy question and answer, and yeah. So the first question is, which user owned the files in the FTP directory? Okay, can see. All right. Anymore? Which user owned the files in the FTP directory? Remember, owned, it's kind of a tricky question. Which user owned? Perfect. Brooke 3D733 got the answer correct. It was root. Root was the current user who owned it. And you can check that here. It was here. The owner of these files was root. So then the next question. In which directory did we upload the backdoor? The full path to the directory, did we upload the backdoor? You can remember the directory. the full part starting from C. And it was C full colon something. Yeah, correct. Neo 21181 got it correct. It was C wamp www. Good job. The last question. What was the CVE of the exploit we used to escalate our privileges? The CVE. It was something CVE. Then now some number there to something. Anyone? It was to 11, some number there. Nope, it wasn't 218. It wasn't 218, is 2. Actually, the first step is 211. 211, then a number at the end. That was a tricky one if you are not really keen on what you are downloading. You can try to search for the exploit. It was exploit 40564. So for the ones who have their Kali, try to do a search exploit mirror on 40564 and look at the CVE. I'll go to exploit DB and search for the CVE for exploit number 40564. It starts with CVE 211, then some number. Perfect. Road Kali. I like your name, Kali, so maybe it's already in your mind. You are the Kali. Nice. You're our third winner for the PG practice 3 months subscription. Perfect. And that marks the end of our walkthrough for the Auth machine. Thanks everyone for your time. We'll be doing this. I think we have another one in the next 2 weeks. We're going to go through another machine with a different colleague of mine, and more prizes will be coming on along the way. You're most welcome. Have a good day, everyone.